our next panel is amazing. We've got Vadim, who's the CEO of Cointelegraph in China. He's got a beautiful panel together who have been in this business for a number of years, who have identified companies, built companies, raised money, deployed capital. It's going to be an amazing, informative session. So I hope you can stay and ask some questions, get engaged. Vadim, thank you so much for being here today, my man.
Hi, Karim. Thank you so much for inviting us.
I'm going to say thank you to you, for making the introduction. Kevin and Sheldon and Maggie. Where is Maggie? Maggie, I'm looking forward to you. Your resume is incredible and how you've raised, identified, deployed capital, and progressed this whole industry. I got to tell you, Vadim and I, the last time we spoke together, he was in some. It was obviously on the East Coast. I was in the mountains under a snowstorm in Utah. So it's amazing how we've all come together here today in a global connection, and we can share this knowledge, experience, and thought about things that are important to us today. So as we go through this panel, I want you to think about what you've seen in 2020, what you've observed, what you've learned, and what your thoughts are for 2021, whether it's economics, a little bit of politics, a lot of investment strategies, some of the upcoming developments that we all have to be paying attention to. And I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for being here. Kevin, Vadim, I will let you make an introduction of yourself. Don't be shy. Introduce the rest of your panel. I'll drop off from this and I'll come back when I need to, closer to the end of your session with a couple of questions. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you so much, Karim. So let's start. And let me check if all of us here. So hi, Kevin. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Sheldon. My name is Vadim. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Cointelegraph Chinese. And it's my pleasure to invite some of the most well-known opinion leaders and investors from Chinese-speaking region. Also have an experience with investing in the foreign projects in overseas, let's say Western projects, right? Yeah, so let's start from it. We have Kevin Ren, who is the founding partner of the Consensus Lab. We have Maggie Wu, who is the founder and the CEO of the Krypital group, and we have Sheldon Xia, who is the founder and the CEO of BitMart. So, Kevin, can you please introduce your first, and then Maggie and Sheldon? Thank you so much.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Vadim. Very happy to be here. I think this is a very professional summit. So I'm Kevin from Consensus Lab. I'm the founding partner of the labs. And our labs is founded in 2017. So this is actually a blockchain investment and research institutions. So under us, we have 3 funds, including our Consensus Labs investment fund, which has invested around the hundreds of the projects, blockchain projects. And we also have a Consensus quantification, fourth. This is only focusing on the Bitcoin and Ethereum's quantifications. And also we have Consensus DeFi Innovation Fund, which is founded this year for DeFi only. And the labs is focusing on the technology-based platforms and also some trading platforms in structures, and also some of the famous projects, international projects, which have the internationalized capability. And all these are related to projects related to blockchain investment. Yeah, so thank you, Vadim.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for introduction. Maggie, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So for those who don't know me, and so let me introduce myself for a little bit. So my name is Maggie Wu, and I'm a CEO and a co-founder of Krypital Group, and also I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Maxo Exchange. So I have been an entrepreneur for past 15 years, and we mainly focus on cross industry investing and also consulting. And so in 2017, me and my partner, we founded Krypital Group, and we're a global venture capital. Also, we are watching incubator. So I have been invested a lot of the project, especially focusing the crypto area. And this year, we just start our own crypto exchanges in Latin market, which is called Maxo Exchange. And yeah, that's just a general introduction about me and my company. It's very honored for me to be here today, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Maggie. Yeah, Sheldon, please.
Okay, hi, thanks for inviting me to the conference. And I'm Sheldon, and the CEO and the founder of the BitMart. And I used to be a programmer and have been in this industry since 2013. And BitMart is one of the top 20 crypto centralized crypto exchange in the world. And we're also regulated by the United States government, like FinTech and OFAC. We also have several state levels money transmission business license, like New Jersey, like Arizona, so around like around 10. And we also very focused on the DeFi market in this years, and also we also very want to know what will be happen to the next year. So I will share some my points in this panel. Okay, thanks.
Right. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys, we know each other for a while, so of course it's no surprise for me for what we're doing and what kind of trends we have this year. But of course, I think it would be lovely for audience today to know more about your ideas. So my first question today, I know that all of you, I think, investors and even owners for both DeFi and CeFi projects, and have infrastructure in that field. So, for example, like BitMart is, as Sheldon said, is a cryptocurrency exchange with a centralized core inside, right? So, how do you see CeFi versus DeFi? So, and then let's start with Sheldon.
Okay. First of all, whether it's DeFi or CeFi, I think the final core truth and the value direction is trust in code, I think. And both CeFi and DeFi has their own advantage. Where DeFi is still in a very early stage, and CeFi is still by far the bigger industry. Both DeFi and DeFi are posed to shake up the way people manage their money. But each has its own place in doing so. DeFi others impress transparency, accessibility, and utility for digital assets users. But it doesn't yet match the overall functionality offered by DeFi yet. After hundreds of years of development, CeFi has a very perfect asset base, legal system, risk control experience, and a centralized governance system supplemented by technology. The blockchain industry has also experiencing nearly 10 years of development on the road of FinTech. CeFi has also helped a large number of projects link and combine the traditional financial world and the blockchain world. Besides support for fiat currency, remains one of the key ingredients DeFi is missing to appear a larger user base. Additionally, for CeFi, for example, like centralized exchange or centralized custodial company, the high level of customer support and communication offer customers a certain level of comfort and user experience. However, the essence of FinTech is to improve its efficiency through technology. Many existing DeFi projects are on the right track and are trying to minimize the limitation of technology. In the future, I don't think that CeFi can be replaced by DeFi. The combination of the CeFi and the DeFi will eventually move towards integration. Through DeFi, CeFi seeks a more open and transparent financial ecology. Users can fund and users and funds of centralized system can switch to decentralized system seamlessly. This behavior will promote the rapid outbreak of decentralized system and form a huge and dynamic ecology. For example, many centralized exchanges have recently been started to use decentralized Oracle system like Nest, like Link to improve their quotation system. We also are researching it for DeFi products, providing better service and security are the directions and the chance that cannot be ignored. In my opinion, in my opinion, the relationship between DeFi and CeFi is not black or white. At the technology level, we can consider integrations, advantages of the two meet the needs and the users. At the user selection level, there is no need to care too much about the DeFi or CeFi. The best product is the product that can ultimately meet the needs of users. That's my opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sheldon. So some people saying that after several years, CeFi exchanges, centralized exchanges, will be mostly used for payment gateways from fiat to cryptocurrencies, and decentralized exchange will be mostly like the main let's say trading platform. What do you think about it? Please shortly, yeah, just well, do you think is it correct statement or not?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm saying that decentralized exchange will be the main trading platforms, and centralized is more like using for payment gateway between the fiat and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that's correct? Okay, so the next question goes to Maggie. Yeah, please let us know your opinion about the first question about DeFi versus CeFi.
Okay, yeah. As we all know, CeFi is a traditional financial product that requires intermediaries to solve the business and consumer needs. And on the other hand, DeFi is opposite. It uses decentralizations to perform a very similar functional as the CeFi. So from my point of view, and I think DeFi is generally innovative and also as an extension of the traditional finance. It's going to be the future model for most of the financial products. And as we also know, we talk about DeFi segments, we say as well, like Lego money. So it's kind of like a playing Legos. So because that you can actually stack the apps together to maximize your returns. And for example, you can buy a stable coin such as DAI, and then you can lend it to lend on the compound, and then you can earn interest. And this year, there's the mining. The year farming is very popular, which you can buy Krypital and you can staking, and then you do the mining. You can make the interest, and also through the which you provide the AMM. So it's very, I think there's an apple. I'm sorry. I think it's very fun that we saw the DeFi's new concept. So when we talk about CeFi vs DeFi, I would like to give a little example between centralized exchanges and the decentralized exchanges. So as we all know, there's a lot of key points both on the sections that share, which are privacy and trust, transparency, and flexibility, and so on and so forth. But most famous thing that we know compared to centralized exchange and decentralized exchanges, I think there's both has some advantages and disadvantages. So for example, like centralized exchanges, you need to provide the KYC, it's lack of the privacy, and you have to transfer your fund to the crypto exchanges that absolutely there's a possibility of a compromised security issue over there, and also there is a very strict regulations. And at the same time, for like decentralized exchanges, we know like you don't need to provide a KYC. It's very protect users' privacy, and at the same time, you control your money and the money will in your wallets. And but the disadvantage of decentralized today, I think, is you are not able to deposit your fiat yet. As I think I then just ask a question between like eventually maybe like centralized exchanges will just become a gateway of the fiat to for users, or maybe decentralized will replace everything. So because we also own a crypto exchange, so I think that's a possibility, but it's not gonna happen in really soon because they still have a lot of issues that we're facing that I'm going to say a little bit more about it. I will share more information about my opinions. So first thing is liquidity. So if the decentralized cannot solve the liquidity, it won't be really hard to replace everything, especially in terms of derivatives trading. I think liquidity is very important. And other than this is the user experience. So I think we need to provide a good, user-friendly apps or products of the DEX, and to lower the entry of the barrier for the users. And because the current today and all the centralized exchanges, they have very decent UI UX and they provide very good customer service. But if one day there's no centralized or only decentralized exchanges, we need to figure out all this and issues like how we can provide a good user experience to all the mass adoptions. Also, like as I said, the derivatives is just one of the type of the exchanges product. But other than this, there's many other exchanges product which you need to see there's any new decentralized can provide a better products, more diversified products. And obviously, we know like standard DeFi application has been the hottest topic of this year, except what I just said, the DEX and the SEX, the differences between these two. There's many categories that we need to pay attention to it. For example, like lending and borrowing, and yield farming, and the margin trading, and also like oracles. And the latest, I think there's a new oracle coming, it's called API 3. And I actually, as an investor, we always pay attention to a lot of new products in this industry. As hard as the DeFi is today, but we're still facing a lot of issue with DeFi, as just said, a few. And other than that, they also have some security risk. There's a lot of bugs here there, and sometimes there's shutdown where like that's a systemic risk. And also there's a very high networking fees, and there's also cost congestions, and they also have some problems in governance. So even though there's so many issues, but personally, I still very believe in the DeFi sectors have a bright futures. Compared to the traditional finance, I think DeFi is still in a very early stage. Still need a lot of time to develop and to improve. As we push forward, I believe DeFi will be mature and take over many functions of CeFi. And furthermore, like I think this year the boat run is lead by DeFi, and so like our company, we're actually kind of like early investors in DeFi. And so this year we invest a few projects such as Injective Protocol. There are decentralized exchanges providing the derivative trading tools, which is the one I just mentioned, is much better user interface. You guys can check it out. And other than that, we also invest like a Reef and also Kiva. And we invest quite a bit of a DeFi project of this year. So I hope, the one day that the DeFi can solve the problem and can be more efficiency and more usability and finally connect to all the mass adoptions in the next few years. And I would love to see that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Such a great answer. A lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of experience behind that. We definitely can see it. Kevin, please go ahead. DeFi versus CeFi.
Okay, great. I think most of the details as mentioned by Sheldon and Maggie, I think I totally agree. And I believe most of us have the same idea that CeFi versus DeFi, there will be both existing and then both will be grow well. So we also invested a lot of actually DeFi projects as well as CeFi projects. So I'm only going to mention maybe 3 points. The first one is it is a big challenge and opportunity for both. So it's quite a good time period now for both of them to look at themselves and study to think about themselves. So now you have competitors. So we will let users to choose using DeFi or using CeFi, right? So some of them will use CeFi because they are newcomers. They don't know how the blockchain works. So they listen to other people, friends, and they starting to use CeFi for the interest, right? So, and also some of them, like Vadim just said, like a fiat to Krypital. So it's better to use CeFi to do it, right? So it's under governance. And some of them, they trust others, trust the code or some others. They believe this is more convenient and more safe, so they use DeFi as well. So that's why I think this is a big change as well for both of them. And second point is I think DeFi will definitely grow no matter with or without CeFi support. So it will grow and it will go yearly, step by step. It will be a very big industry in the futures. So because there is quite so many advantages for DeFi, such as you don't need to KYC, as Maggie mentioned, and also it is driven by code totally, right? It's actually towarding a freedom country. So it meets a lot of needs actually. So this is not gonna to stop. This is actually great opportunities for all the crypto fund to find a way to invest actually. So, and the third point is I think the CeFi is still needed and will be needed for a long period of time. It will be needed for like filter to Krypital gateway, and it will also as a first entry point for the traditional to the crypto world. And also they in some huge deal or in some industry or industrializing or traditional way, they will find a reliable partner. So mostly this one, they will need to see the person to find the one who really responsible for it. So for this part, CeFi is still needed. So I think this is what I'm going to mention. And by the way, we are investing international GameFi project called Sovi. So it is NFT projects, and it is describing the love story and the war story between DeFi and CeFi. So thank you.
Yeah, sounds very interesting. I think the common idea between all three of you guys that, as Sheldon mentioned, there is no black and white, and CeFi and DeFi will be part of our ecosystem, and we need to work on both of these things. Thank you so much for that answers, and we go to the next question. This year, 2020, very controversial year, of course, and with a lot of problems, but the same good things at the same time. So we can see a huge, companies and big institutional companies to come into the market, right? So how do you see the movement of institutional money in the cryptocurrency industry? Does crypto industry have more inflows than outflows of institutional money this year? What's your experience? Let's start with Maggie. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think number tells. It's very easy to answer of this question. This year, the total market cap is gained from the $190 billion to $551 billion, so increased 300%. And for Bitcoin price, I think increase from January is $7,000, and that's today. I think the price is around $18,500. So that's increased also like quite around 250%. And there's another incredible number over there is the DeFi TVL is increased from the $690 million to today, I think is 14 billion, over $14 billion. So that's a 2100% increasing. So all the numbers already tell, this year the movement is great. So I think we all know, like behind this movement, there must like at least a partial of the money is from the institution. And there's the superstar of this year. I think it's a Grayscale. Everybody know. And then check their Q3 reports, and they call the Q3 is $1 billion Q3. So why? Because the Grayscale actually gained $1.2 billion on the Q3 and to a total of $2.4 billion, and double the $1.2 billion cumulative inflow into the products from the 2013 to 2019. That's 6 years. So just one quarter, double 6 years, you can imagine like there's a huge inflow of money to this industry. So today's, I think their total AUM is more than $12 billion. And behind the Grayscale, we all know there's a lot of institution capitals, for example, like ARK, Invest, Addison Capital, and there's one of famous family office, Rothschild. And the other, I saw a report. I think I saw China Bank over there too. So I'm very impressed. Behind all this, dozens of institution investors, I think we are going to have a good year in next year, the 2021, because I believe there's more and more institution organizations and family office, they will join this game. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Maggie. We're going to talk about next year in my next question that I prepared. So, yeah, thank you. Sheldon, please give us your opinion.
As Maggie just mentioned the Grayscale already, actually we also pay a close attention to Grayscale and like Square Cash and like some other institutional investors in the early 2019. They buy a lot. They buy a lot of bitcoins. Also, Maggie has shown some numbers to very detailed numbers to everyone, and we also can show some numbers with like Grayscales. In Q3 in this year, retail customers bought like 1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin using Grayscale Cash App, and it's around 3 times more than what was invested in Grayscale's Bitcoin products in Q3, I think. And however, in Q4, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is at 3 times each quarter 3 numbers, right? And I personally think that institutional investors are looking at Bitcoin as a long-term investment since the growth in size in Q4 of all institutionals and whose customers are mostly and the Grayscale and other like trust funds whose customers are mostly institutional. And for this week, like gold saw a record 9.2 billion outflows in the last 4 weeks as Bitcoin funds gained 1.4 billion during the same period. I think this data maybe can reflect some fact that institutional investors look at Bitcoin as a digital store of value and a new hedge against inflation. This is one reason why some of the actual inflow in Bitcoin and crypto funds comes from gold as a traditional hedge against inflation. And institutional investors from worldwide is starting to enter the field. As I know, German just I think German just improved. German just established Ethereum trust fund, I think, and also in Singapore and in Australia, there are a lot of companies are very interested to establish some Bitcoin or Ethereum trust fund, and so in this, I think in the next year there will be more and more trust fund will be launched, and its movement is helping the massive adoption of the crypto as a new existence assets. Okay, thanks.
Right, thank you so much, Sheldon. Kevin, please give us your vision on the institutional money question.
Okay, great. I think I will make it short. Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. I mean, look at the Grayscale, look at the Bitcoin, right? So, yes, of course, it is inflows. Some values also tells that, as just now they mentioned, like also we know the Grayscale already hold Bitcoins for more than 50,000, right? And also like the GBTC, the value of GBTC is around like more than 20,000 US dollars, which is 30% higher than current Bitcoin's value. And so I'd like to mention in other parts, the mining part. So also we can see the great increase of the minings, especially the computing hash rate is also increasing very dramatically. And also the mining difficulties is also increasing. This means the Bitcoin's mining network is expansion. And also we can see the Bitcoin's trading data. So the Bitcoin's holders holding cost, the data is greatly increased. So the average now is around 9,000 US dollar, which means yeah, it's gonna to be like 10,000 already. So it's more than 9,000. And in the recent 1 month, the average is around 16,000. So this means the people are the incoming flow, the cost is raising. On the other hand, it means more people pretend to hold the Bitcoins than selling the Bitcoins. So which is so all this is telling us that we are in a great period of the time. So so yeah, and I'm also looking forward for the next year, gonna be even more better. And also, yeah, also we can see more traditional industry is also coming for the crypto. So yes, the answer definitely, yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin. We're definitely running out of time, and I think we already postponed the next panel. So very shortly on the last question, where are we heading in the next year, 2021? Just a couple of sentences. Start with Kevin. So yeah.
Okay, 3 words. More international, more decentralized, and more ecologicalized. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Maggie.
Okay, I will make short too. So Bitcoin, definitely, and DeFi. And in the DeFi, we will pay a lot more attention on Polkadot ecosystem and also Ethereum 2.0. Yeah. And maybe NFT. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, NFT is also an interesting story. Thank you so much, Maggie. Sheldon.
We will pay more attention like to layer 2 and the cross-chain products and insurance and the derivative DEX in the next year.
Thank you so much, 3 of you guys. It's my great pleasure to talk to you today, and a lot of insightful things. And it's my pure pleasure. So thank you so much, guys, from Global Investing Forum for inviting us.
Thank you.
No. Look, I've learned so much, Sheldon, Kevin, Maggie. I've learned so much. I wish we could stay longer, make it another hour, because I'm learning so much here. DeFi, Bitcoin, the fundamentals seem different from the 2017. The fundamentals look different. The economies look different. The mining looks different. The focus on engineering and utility looks different. But we haven't heard from Vadim about your next prediction in 2021. A couple of sentences before we leave here.
Definitely growth. We go up. I think 2020 is just the beginning. We have so many things that just showing us that this is just the beginning for our industry. I'm in the industry from early 2017. So my first Bitcoin was when it was a little bit slightly more than $1,000. And right now I'm so excited to see 20,000 and it's growing. And I see a lot of support from buying, and 18,000, 17,000. People want to buy, people strongly believe. And people stop believing in national currencies. Or let's say they want to diversify with the cryptocurrency. They don't understand this is not something that scare them. This is not a criminal thing. This is something that that will help them to, gain money, that stabilize their portfolio, etc., etc. I can talk more about that, but I think go up, growth. So definitely this is something we support.
Excellent, thank you. So I want to thank you all so much for attending this event. I mean, it's been great. All this information will be on YouTube in the next couple of days.